Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the second half of The Walking Dead Season 8. In this one, first, we're going to give our thoughts on a recent interview with Steven Yeun, where he talked about life after The Walking Dead. And spoiler warning, of course, as per usual. If you guys are not cut up for The Walking Dead, I'll put the link in the description to comicbook.com where you get, so there's a little clip, it's about 40 seconds long with Steven Yeun, where he just quickly kind of gives his thoughts on The Walking Dead now that it's been quite a while since he, of course, has been killed off in the series. It'd be like a season and a half, even though it doesn't feel like that long ago to me anyway, but I don't know about you guys. Check it out. It's so sad, man. It's really sad to even hear him talk about it. He sounds sad to me because I'm used to hearing his voice, and he usually sounds a little bit happier than that. But Negan can do that to you, right? It says Steven Yeun talks about life after The Walking Dead. So it says Glenn may have come to a brutal end, but actor Steven Yeun is having a lovely afterlife. Yeun is currently at Sundance Film Festival promoting his new film, Sorry to Bother You. While there, he spoke to Variety about what life after The Walking Dead has been like. He looks back fondly on his time playing Glenn and how it helped him grow. Then it says, quote unquote, you realize when you are lucky enough to play somebody else and lucky enough to be, I guess, coached in the right way or have a great experience like something like this, it unlocks other portions of who you are, and you get deeper, you get wider, you get hopefully wiser, Yeun says. But those are those experiences now that 7 years on a TV show was fantastic, and I was also it was naturally my exit, and to come into something like this, to come into the other projects I've come into, has been really, really great for me. Yeun has opened up about Glenn's death in the past, and it says, quote unquote, it's hard to leave family after 7 years of being together, but also it feels very complete, Yeun said. Something needed to happen to propel this next season. It's been over a year, and everybody is still so cool. They're so sweet, and they're very sad about the death, but that's awesome. I think the coolest part about the death in and of itself is I don't know if there's ever been a character like Glenn before in any facet, in the way he walks and the way he talks, to have died and to have in death such a lasting impact. I think it's awesome. I think if Glenn were to continue, he could at some point fade into the back, but there's this great explanation point. Pretty sad stuff, and it's kind of messed up, right? Because it's like it's a character in the show, but people, in terms of the way they see him, the actor who played Glenn, they so identify with the character that it's like a super sad thing to even talk to him about Walking Dead, right? But he has had other projects that have been ongoing, and looks like he's got lots of roles, so congratulations to him. That's awesome. Walking Dead, I don't think has probably been bad for anybody's career that worked on the show and then left afterwards. One movie he was in, which I did kind of briefly give my thoughts on the trailer, but I never actually watched it myself, never got time to, which was Okja, and I'll put the link as well in the his IMDb so you guys can check out and see the different projects he's been working on. Okja is like, I don't know. It's pretty out there. You guys check it out if you haven't seen the trailer for Okja. It's like a giant, I don't know what this is, like a giant pig or something. I don't know. But it's like a heartfelt film. I don't know. It's not my thing. But it's there if you want to check it out. There's I Origins. He plays. So that was 2014. Of course, he was Glenn in The Walking Dead from 2010 to 2016. And then there's Mayhem, Derek Cho, which is 2017. Then he's going to be Chu, which is Tony Chu, which is in Chu, so that's kind of cool. Burning, let's see, he plays a character named Ben. And Sorry to Bother You, which is the one he's kind of promoting in this interview right here. There's also some other stuff too, Final Space and Troll Hunters and things like this. So, pretty cool, man. Pretty cool stuff, and definitely a sad one to just hear him kind of give his thoughts on it. It's just kind of crazy the way, like, almost think like, he spends 7 years in the show. He gets killed off in such brutal fashion. You might even need like therapy after something like that. I don't know, because the problem is that when they spend so much time playing a certain character for so many years, the lines between reality and the character can kind of get blurred a little bit when everybody's calling him. Like, imagine if he's walking around in public. Are people going to call him Steven, or are people going to be like, it's Glenn, right? So everybody's going to call him Glenn. And so, that many years, it kind of, it can get a little messed up, because, you really got to keep those, you try to keep those separate. Like, okay, real life he's this, but then everyone sees him as that, and even as he's in other projects and stuff, people are going to still see him as that, just because the character was so big in the series and everybody was so fond of the character. And that was one of the points. I did a video. I'll put it in the end screen videos here for you guys if you haven't seen it. Top 7 reasons for the decline of The Walking Dead. Glenn's death was number 2. So I really still feel like them killing Glenn off. It obviously was a huge move. It was something that was in the comics, so it felt natural for them to do it in the TV series. But for sure, is something that has had a hugely lasting impact, I think, on the show. So you guys can leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about that one, and how you're feeling about the death of Glenn now. It's been a while, so now we're seeing a kind of another big one as well too, with the mid-season finale with Carl as well. So, and along the same lines, we did also get an interview from express.co.uk with Lauren Cohan, who of course plays Maggie in the Walking Dead, about her story of vengeance for Negan. It says, the tragedy caused her to choose one of the prisoners that she was holding captive and publicly execute him in front of the remaining prisoners. So that was in the mid-season finale. As she walked away from the dead prisoner, she commented, we're not even, but that was a start. Speaking to Entertainment Weekly, Lauren teased the direction in which Maggie will be heading in the second half of the season once it returns in February. She said, she continues down this path of vengeance after Negan that I feel the audience is on. I really feel like Maggie gets to vocalize the anger towards that enemy in this, she continued, which means that she's going to have some parts where she's going to be able to talk some smack to the Saviors, it sounds like, so that's good, as we would probably come to expect. Also because, of course, the final battle might take place at the Hilltop, and she's kind of the leader of the Hilltop right now, so she should have a big part in this back half for sure. It says, she continued, and it gets very much more specific as we go on, so we'll have to see what she means by that. I don't think we can really read into that much. Lauren went on to admit that she was surprised over the decision to make Maggie a leader or a leader figure within the Hilltop. She said that's definitely, in some strokes, came as a surprise to me, she commented, because we had this sort of subdued seeming feeling for her, and it was like, wow, is it really going to be okay? Am I recovering? Am I becoming just this leader who can handle all this and put the past behind her? She continued, sometimes yes, sometimes no, and that's life, I guess. Let's give our thoughts on that one. So I feel like in the TV series, they did a great job of transitioning Maggie from kind of like just a regular survivor into kind of a leadership role with her, because they had kind of planted seeds with this back in season, what was it, season 6 or season 5, where she's discussing with Deanna, who was the leader of Alexandria, some strategies, and she was kind of, I want to say, like training under her, right? So she was training under her leadership. Obviously, she's been through a lot in the series, and she's pretty strong, right? So similarly with Sasha and Michonne. So for me, I mean, based on, of course, the comics as well, too, where she becomes the leader of the Hilltop in the comics as well, I feel like the transition in the TV series was just as smooth, if not even more smooth. But of course, too, there's been lots of deaths throughout the show. In the season 7 premiere, we see her reaction to Glenn having been killed like that, and even afterwards. And I felt like they did a good job kind of showing it, but that you don't need to really dwell on it too much afterwards. In that first episode with her reaction, you kind of get the point. And, you can see her becoming more badass because she's lost so much that, to me, it's felt really natural. She can then says, on the Savior that Maggie killed in cold blood, Lauren explained that, or the thought process behind the character's decision. She's thinking about Herschel and Glenn and where she's come from and what she needs to do and how she needs to suit up. I don't think she regrets doing it, but she does feel it, she said. And, again, with that one, too, to me, that was just like no big deal. They kill one of hers, which, if anything, to me, the part that felt a little bit unnatural with that would be where Simon just lets him go. You know, like Simon just like kills one of them. He's like, all right, go back to the hilltop, whatever. We're not going to kill a whole bunch of you. But that's, you know, you could say like that's kind of how Simon is. He's kind of carefree, and he doesn't always go exactly with what Negan wants him to do. He kind of sometimes he doesn't care, and he just lets things go. You know, if anything, that to me would feel a little bit unnatural for Simon to do. To see her kill one of the prisoners is not unnatural at all. I wouldn't even say it'd be unnatural for her if she decided to kill them all, because of course Glenn and what happened with that, as we were just going over earlier there with the interview. So, you know, I mean, I like what they're doing with Maggie a lot right now. I like to see what's happening with her in the future, and kind of her stepping up, and after what happened with Glenn, you know, her kind of becoming a solid, you know, season regular A-lister, you know, like Rick, or like, you know, I mean, there's only a few like that are really at that kind of, maybe Carl, I would say, at this point. Morgan, because he's going into Fear, so there's a lot of focus on him. But yeah, for her too as well too. It's going to be good stuff this half season, and I'm looking forward to it, so it should be cool. We got a few questions for today's Q&A, guys, and feel free to keep sending them to me, and I'll keep pumping some videos for you guys this week. I got to do Death Predictions is next, so I got to do that this week. So I'm starting to work on that right now. Those videos take a bit longer, take a few days, but send me what you guys got anyway for questions for Daily Walking Dead attempts at videos, right? So Pancake Protector 4, Star Wars Battlefront says, Trev, make a plot armor video about The Walking Dead. So he wants to see a video where we go over characters that have plot armor on The Walking Dead. I really feel like no one really does right now, or we can't say that anyone does. Because of what happened with Carl. Carl would have been the character that would have had the most plot armor of anybody in the show, and they just killed him off. So, you know, I really don't feel like plot armor is a thing in The Walking Dead. People can say, well, there's Rick, but I don't even feel confident to say that in the future, because we don't know what Andrew Lincoln's going to want to do, and I don't feel like Rick is safe 100% anymore. So I feel like if one thing was done well with the mid-season finale and killing Carl off, it's that they're reinstilling in the viewers that really nobody is safe, and you know, this kind of thing can happen. If anybody gets careless, you know, that can be it for them. So I really don't feel like plot armor is a thing right now. I mean, maybe in the future again we could kind of get into safer characters. You know, obviously you're Rick, you're Daryl, you're Carol, you know, maybe Morgan. I don't know. But then again, it's like you can't even really say that now because they've killed off Carl, who's a character that would have the most plot armor of anybody. I mean, he'd be wearing, like, you know, I don't know, some kind of crazy medieval armor with, you know, I don't know, that could repel bullets or something, if you want to talk plot armor, based on the comics and what they did with him in the comics. So I don't really think it's a deal now, and if anything else, it just kind of reinforces for that The Walking Dead doesn't really have that, at least not right now, and that's kind of the story they're telling. So it's crazy stuff for sure. Andy G said, Trev, did you hear about Frank Darabont filing another lawsuit against AMC for $10 million? Check it out. So, you know, I'm not really going to do like a whole video on that or anything like that. Just to mention it here, he is filing some other kind of additional lawsuit or something. You know, I don't know all the details. I don't know if how the prior lawsuit went. I don't know if it got thrown out. I don't know if they somehow settled or if he won. What happened? I don't know. I really have no idea. But, you know, like some of the questions are like, you know, did he sign off on the contract himself too? Because if AMC wrote him a contract and he signed off, and then, you know, you get into all this legal stuff. So I've done lots of videos on the Frank Darabont lawsuit for The Walking Dead. If you guys haven't seen them, you can definitely check him out. He's the one who started the series in the first about season and a half, roughly, or first 2 seasons. And he was like the developer, creator of the TV series version of The Walking Dead. So it's unfortunate he's not involved with the series anymore, but yeah, there's a big lawsuit for that. You guys can check it out, and you know, there's even other lawsuits coming in now too. So maybe it does follow success when something gets as big as The Walking Dead has. I don't know. You guys can check out all the details of that. We won't get too into that here, because I've done whole videos on that before. You can watch those still on the channel. Powerpuff Zombie says, hey Trev, Q&A. What will happen to Carl's hat? Will Rick take it back? Will it go to Judith? Will it sit in the grave or be buried with him? It's such a significant part of Carl. Just wondering what your thoughts are on it now that Carl's gone. Thanks for the great videos. Keep up the great work. So I think, great question from Powerpuff Zombie. I think it'll be buried with him, but that's just my, you know, it is a big part of Carl, and that is kind of pretty sad to even think about. But I think it'd be buried with him. That's just me, though. I mean, you could put it on the grave or something, but then it could blow away or something could happen to it or someone could take it or something. So, I don't know. Maybe they'll use it to mark the grave, but I think it'll be with him. I don't think Rick will take it back and be wearing it or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it should be with him to the end. That's just me though. Mary M says, "Hey Trev, what are your thoughts on the episode in season 8 where Dr. Carson asked Eugene to watch Father Gabriel so he could go look for herbs and stuff for something he wanted to try? Do you think he's going to find a cure or some kind of treatment? Also, seems like the Savior that is held captive at the hilltop knows Jesus. I think there is more going on with Jesus. Maybe, I don't know, gets into some crazy stuff here. So I won't continue the rest. But good question with the Father Gabriel part for Mary. I do think Father Gabriel will survive. I still think that. So I think Dr. Carson will save him. And Eugene kind of helped out by allowing him to leave, that kind of thing as well too. So Eugene, he's still a bad guy right now. He's still Savior Eugene, but I feel like he's doing some good. He's doing some things that are not so bad for the survivors. And the last one will be from Daniel, who says, Trev Q&A, who is going to kill Eugene? My guess is Rosita. She hates him, and now everyone knows he is the one who helped the Saviors out. He is too far gone unless he stays with the Saviors after the war. So I would actually think that he might be a character that may stay with the Saviors after the war. I don't think anybody will kill him this half, and we'll discuss that in the death predictions. But I would say that I think with him, he is probably a long-term survivor. I don't think you need to kill him off right now, but I do think that he's made he'll probably help the group back out. He'll probably go back the other way a little bit now later on in the war in the second half. I'm looking to see Eugene probably help the survivors more in this half and kind of do that, because he's got to come back a little bit if he's going to survive afterwards, unless the survivors are to kill him or to sentence him to imprisonment or something like that. So personally, I think he'll be okay. I think he'll survive. I don't think Rosita or anyone else will kill him. I like your choice. If someone's going to kill him, Rosita's a good person to pick for that. But I think he'll be okay. I think Eugene will survive out this season and go into next season. He's a fun character for sure. He's really funny. You don't have Abraham anymore, so at least you have Eugene. You can't kill off everybody. You have to have some characters for the story and stuff. So I do think Eugene could be a long-term survivor. He's just one that they may punish him a little bit, but I don't think they'll totally kill him. And I think he'll help out Rick and the others in this half a little bit. Maybe stab Negan in the back or the Saviors in the back a little bit to give the survivors some kind of advantage. We'll have to see how it goes. Anyway, that'll be it for today's video, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, leave a comment below how you're feeling about the series without Glenn being in it, Maggie's future direction, and any of your thoughts on any of these questions. Father Gabriel surviving, Eugene surviving, what do you think will happen? Write the comments below. And that'll be it for today's video, guys. If you liked it, please like it. Please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it, and you can do it. You can subscribe at the bottom. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.